Good morning, everyone. My name is Terrence Burruss. Before I begin my speech, I'd like to start off by establishing a bit of team chemistry between you all and myself. Team chemistry being me, being a little bit transparent about who I am as a man, and a little bit about me. So my name is Terrence, as I said before. As a kid, I loved Dragon Ball Z. It's a Japanese anime show. I'm probably one of the only people under the age of 60 who thoroughly enjoys Golden Graham cereal. I love sports, and specifically basketball analogies. It helps me understand my life and, make sense of it in a sense. So that's me standing at my center court at my respective home court, which entails all the things that I previously mentioned, but also my family, reading, books, music, hip-hop culture. These are some of the things that are at my home court. But what you probably didn't realize is that you all also have a home court. And in 4 quarters during my speech, I would like to further explain what a home court is and hopefully help you discover it. So, quarter 1, identifying your team. Everybody has a team, whether you realize it or not. Everybody has a team, whether it's family or friends. To give you a little bit about me, growing up, when I was in preschool, I really wasn't a very friendly kid. I was very antisocial. And the thing I hated most was when my mother would leave me at preschool with the other little monsters, because it was just my mom and my dad. Those are the only 2 people that I trusted in life. And I think that's reasonable behavior for a toddler, but as an adult, that's really not acceptable, and you won't get too far not trusting. You have to trust your team, know your team, and trust your team. Michael Jordan was drafted into the NBA in 1994, but didn't actually win a championship until 1991. And most basketball historians would attribute that to him not trusting his teammates. You have to know your personnel and trust your personnel, just like a coach, but you're a player. And if you don't trust your team, if you don't trust your friends, your team, your progress is as slow as Tom Brady's 40-yard dash time. And you should YouTube that if you haven't seen it. But all in all jokes aside, everyone has a team, and you must trust them in order to progress. So quarter 2, be coachable. And all this means is really finding humility and listening and paying attention, having awareness. I really want to apologize in advance to all the Falcons fans that we have in the building. I swear, I wanted that Super Bowl just as much as anybody else on that fateful Tuesday. But I believe that the NFL's greatest coach and probably the world's greatest coach was on the other sideline that day. And his name is Bill Belichick. And one of the things Bill Belichick likes to say is that his team is taking it one game at a time. I think it's such a simple but ingenious concept to take everything one game at a time, to be ever present in the moment, and not anything outside of what's going on right now affect what you're doing. And we can all apply this to our life. Instead of taking it one game at a time, we all need to take things one day at a time. And then our life literally becomes our Bill Belichick, our greatest coach. The cliche goes, life is our greatest teacher. And I believe that to be true for the most part, but I believe it's only true if you pay attention. Life will tell you everything that you need to know. You don't even have to articulate it. It'll just show you. I know for me personally, in high school, life taught me that I needed to work harder and say less. When I sat at the end of the bench every year in freshman and JV basketball, I never got the opportunity to play varsity basketball because I didn't want to work. I'd rather complain and talk. But life will tell you about your health, your relationship, job, anything that you need to know. It'll tell you that. And I believe no one needs a life coach. The coach is life itself. And life also won't make you accountable. It has billions of players. It has billions of players on this roster, this life of ours. Nobody can make you accountable but you. So when you decide to do that, you can watch things take a turn for the better. So, quarter 3, I know y'all like my whistle. Quarter 3, peep your scouting report. And all that means is finding and knowing thyself. A scouting report is a list of strengths and weaknesses for any given player in a particular sport. My metaphorical scouting report in life was it wasn't that great, to be honest with you, before coming to college. I had mediocre grades. I had been suspended from school on several occasions, and I was kind of lost with no direction. And the worst of it all is I was kind of weary of my team and their support and love for me. And as far as being coachable, you could have donated my ears to the Smithsonian because I didn't listen or hear anybody or anything. But by my senior year, I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to change something about what I was doing. I wanted to make my mark. And I started to understand the power of decisive decisions and the power of intentionality. That particularly came on track and field. And I decided to run track in the 10th grade because I remember as a kid, I used to be afraid of my own shadow. And my mom would tell you, when I would see my shadow, I would just take off running. And somehow the shadow never caught up to me. It always stayed with me, but it never caught me. So I figured, hey, I must have a gift. I must have some talent. I must be fast. So I decided to run track in high school. Fast forward to senior year. I really wanted to make a mark, like I said. So I put all my efforts and attention to making a mark. Be a leader. Work hard every day. Grind. Needless to say, by the end of my senior season in track, I had set a record in the 4x1 relay with my team and the 4x4 relay team at Central Gwinnett High School, and a record that still stands as far as I remember. And this may seem frivolous now that I'm a senior in college, but it meant a lot to me at that time because it affirmed what I had already believed about myself. My outward image and what I felt about myself finally aligned. I could look at my scouting report with clarity and confidence, and it makes sense to me. No one will believe in you until you do, and I had to learn that in my quarter 3, which brings us to quarter 4. Be a life champion, and all this means is striving for greatness. What are some characteristics we would use to describe a great person? Strength, courage, vision. You know, I would agree, yeah, that's true, but I don't think we're looking deep enough at what motivates a person. The moon only glows because of the sun's reflection. I'm going to say that one more time. The moon glows as a result of the reflection of the sun. The moon is a career, a job. The sun is that gift, that intrinsic thing inside of you. Oprah gets this. Warren Buffett gets this. Steve Jobs got that. But a lot of people don't. And that's what makes a person a life champion. An athlete's life and the life of any given person correlates, but it's a smaller version. Early on in the athlete's career, they strive for MVPs, all-star votes, scoring championships. Early on in our lives, what do we want? Big cars, houses, self-gratifying things. But at the end of an athlete's life, at the end of their career, what do they want? They want to be a champion. They want that ring. They want that legacy. And the same should go for us. We should all strive to be life champions by being crusaders in our communities, I believe. When a sports team wins a championship, it raises the economy of that town. We want to raise the spiritual economy of all of our communities by being life champions, by doing more. And for me personally, I feel like I'm heading in that direction of being a life champion through this organization that I wear on my chest called Team Tate Noels that I started here at KSU with my friends. We focus on reframing negative situations into positive ones and, encouraging growth between people through their setbacks. And it has done wonders for me and the school, and it's been an innovative process. But that's the first step towards being a life champion. I believe it can happen, and I want to kick it into overtime really quickly. I believe the purpose of life is not happiness. It is not happiness. There are 82 games in the NBA season. There are 16 games in the NFL season and 162 games in the MLB season. Half of them are on the road, half of them at home. You have your good days, you have your bad days. The purpose of life should not be happiness. It should be equilibrium. It should be balance. So right now, I want everybody to put their hand over their heart and bow their heads real quickly in a moment of silence. Please, everybody. You feel that in your chest? That's your shot clock. You have 100,000 of those every day. You have 35 million of those every year and 2.5 billion of those in a lifetime. Discovering your home court is discovering peace within oneself. Don't let that shot clock run out before you find it. Peace, love, thank you.